All right, a little bit of story time here. A lot of stuff has happened. Like my camera died, and I had to reshoot this because my phone doesn't work quite right. More on that later. Anyway, what I've done is bought a full set of coilovers for a Toyota Celica Impala SS swapped conversion system. And in order to do that, I ended up having to buy 6 coilovers, and 2 of them are still in the box. They're cheap, definitely cheap. The springs are very, very stiff, which I expected, and they will serve my purpose. Would I put these on a car that I was going to drive every day? Absolutely not. Might use them on a car that I was going to do some parking lot rallies or something like that with, but I wouldn't want to drive this thing every day because this is going to be bouncy. I can already tell without even driving it. Springs are very stiff. Don't know how well the coilovers themselves will dampen the shocks, but they'll do what I need them to do, and that is lower the ride height. The rear is a little bit lower than what it needs to be right now. The front is a little bit higher than I want it. The rear I can easily bring up. The front, in order to lower it any further, I'm going to have to take the collar out that the link for the anti-roll bar connects to. Once I get that collar out of there, then I'll be able to get another inch lower, and that's about what I need, is another inch. Then I will have to weld a tab onto the lower part of the shock that screws onto the bottom of the shock that the spindle and everything attaches to. I'll weld a tab on there, and I'll modify my anti-roll bar link, make it as short or long as I need it to be, get it in the right position. But I'll do that once I've figured out everything else. For now, I think we'll just go to the video and I'll show you what I've done to get to this point. And real quick on the camera situation, my main camera died and I'm shooting this with my cell phone. After shooting quite a bit of video, I found out that the main camera on my cell phone wants to autofocus a lot, and for some reason when it does that, it zooms in and out slightly. It makes the videos almost unwatchable without getting seasick. So some of the video I had to reshoot, some of it I'm going to try to use, and I'm just going to remember that I have to use the selfie camera side of the phone, and I hope the quality is good enough to see. And I hope y'all are having better luck with cameras than I am, because I really don't want to buy another one or pay to have that one fixed, but I have to do it. Well, the first thing you're going to need to do is get the top hats off of your old struts. And, well, you might want to use a spring compressor, but I like to live dangerously. All right, I did that. Nice and easy looking, wasn't it? Because this is actually a Toyota Celica spring on the Impala front strut, so there wasn't that much pressure on it. But you can do that as long as you keep pressure on the top of it and you let the bottom of it take off and fly away from you at your own risk. All right, it's missing video time. Well, I got a couple still shots that I can use. You can see in these pictures that the rubber in these top hats is about shot, but they will work for now. The other thing is I'm measuring the length of the hole that the top of the strut has to bolt to. The hole through there comes out to be exactly the length of the bolt, and just exactly that much. The top of the original strut had a cone bell shape to it that fit up into this rubber bushing, but there's no room to put that cone bell shape in there or any spacers, so it's just going to have to use clamping force to clamp that rubber down flat. Let's hope it don't tear itself apart. Should be all right. So pop this plastic ring out of the way because it's too small, and I'll put these together the way they are for right now, but I am going to have to order a couple of new top hats. And this beautiful little washer right here drops into there. Set it all up. Get that nut started on there. I figured it out. I had it on the air impact. And make sure that bad boy's in forward. And there is the problem with these. That self-locking part is only like halfway through that thread. Not good. Let's stick this one on the car and see what happens. Well, I already know what happens. They do fit. I've got both of them set to the same length. I'm going to set the springs to about the same preload and put it on the ground. This is my, I don't know what you would call it, work on your suspension while it's on the lift adapter kit. Hey, it works. Now I'll set the spring the same as it is on the other side, and we'll put some wheels on it, set it on the ground, and see what happens next. As this thing makes its way to the ground for the first time, I have no illusions that it's not going to end up sitting on the tires, but hey, all right. It did better than I thought it would because the springs are just barely preloaded at all, maybe about a 1/4 inch of pressure, just enough to keep it from rattling around in there. And I'm surprised that it stopped that quick. Might need softer springs in it eventually, but now at least I can set the ride height down where I want to get it at. Let's see where we're at now. Not bad, not bad. My Celica GTSS is 11 inches right there, and this right now, this is 9 and we'll just call it 10. So it's 10. So pretty good. Top bearing off of the old strut. To give you a little bushing to take up that slack. Looks good. And that bushing has to go underneath because if it wasn't underneath, it would rub on this metal part right here. Now to get the depth of the shock into this part of it set on both of them the same, and then I'll take a little bit of the slack out of this spring and we'll put them in and see what happens once again. All right, assembly is complete. Let's see what happens with the front end. Oh yeah, same as the back. Springs are solid as a rock. Yeah, okay, so that is definitely why cheap coilover setups bounce like crazy, because there's no movement in that spring at all. Well, here it is, back on the ground. Got a couple soda cans sitting underneath of it so you can see the difference in height from front to rear. Need to get the front down a little bit more. And since you stuck around this long, I'll give you a little bit more information on my camera predicament and show you the awesome setup I have for connecting my phone to my tripod. It's cheap, but it works. All right, here we are. Well, this is going to be shot on my phone because my camera died. I'm going to use my phone and I'm going to use my small camera that I always used to use. This camera does all right shooting video, but it doesn't have an external microphone jack, and the microphone is real tinny and echoey, and you have to be facing the camera all the time, and that doesn't usually work when you're working on a car. This camera, I now have a $1,000 paperweight. It was sitting on the tripod, sat there for a couple days. I'm the only one in the shop working, so nobody else was in here. It wasn't bumped, moved, touched, anything. Moved it over to where I was going to use it at, flipped it open, and nothing. I've tried different batteries, I've tried plugging in the DC power supply, all kinds of stuff, and I have absolutely nothing. So until I get this repaired or replace it, I'm going to be using my phone as a camera. And you have to take a look at my beautiful camera mounting system. And one other thing to note is this beautiful camera right here was only 3 months out of its extended warranty plan that I bought for it. So ain't I lucky. And this upgraded camera mount is actually the clamp that goes on a drone antenna. It just holds the cell phone so it can receive the Wi-Fi signal in one of those cheap drones. But it works. Also, my adapter cable came in, so now I can use my wireless microphone with my phone, so that should help a little bit. Hey, maybe I don't need an expensive camera. Well, I definitely don't need one as expensive as what I had, but... Alright, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and as always, thanks for watching.